Hey, what's going on, guys? I've heard people say they wanted to see more videos of like actually building colors and stuff. I'm trying to find a way to get a camera up above me. I got a fan, my vent's right here, so I do this over here so that it keeps it right above the vent. But we're gonna, can I zoom in on with this? Not with this. Well, here, let's do this. We can move this forward a little bit. Maybe. This is, I got like 4 molds going, so that might take up too much space. Let's get you a little bit closer. There we go. Maybe a little. All right, there we go. So, let's build a color. We're doing these like neo orange. Might have helped if I shook up the plastisol before I got shook up the color before I got the plastisol made, huh? You can't see the little off color off camera. Neo orange, monkey milk laminates in 1.2 and 3-inch crappie slayers. We've already got the 2-inch crappie slayers done. Now we're finishing up the 1.2s and the 3s. Overcooked this just a little bit, so I'm not worried about it cooling down too much while I'm shaking this up for a couple of seconds. We'll, like I said, people have been said they were interested in actually seeing me make stuff, so I'll show you. I don't mind showing like how I do the bait. I know a lot of guys that are real good, like my buddy Adam over at SDG, Chris Jones, Bait and Tackle. They're real great about like doing in-depth tutorials and showing you how to build colors. I've always been more of just like a documenting my shop, but let's try this out. All right, so this color has got a neo orange silver flake top. So we're gonna do, I think my first time I did 70, the second time was like 55. So we'll go in that range of this. Give it a good bright but still semi-transparent color. Let's do 60. That's like kind of in the middle of the first 2 colors I did. Excuse me. Grabbing my book. I want to say a quarter. Need the glasses. Yeah, quarter. If you ain't got a recipe book, like I write, my wife made me get real good about writing everything down because I would do something and they'd be like, how did I do that and not remember? So we're going to do a quarter teaspoon, a fat quarter, like you used to get back in high school. Fat quarter teaspoon of silver flake, 0.35. So on top of having an exhaust fit that vents straight out right here, I also, right above me, have a WIN 3-stage air filtration system. So anything that is in the, I don't know if you guys can see it, but it'll pull it from the cup over to the thing. Anything that gets past me goes right into the air filtration system with a carbon filter. So here's what we got. It's a nice bright neon color. This is still good to degas. I am going to be pausing it when we degas and cook, so we're going to degas this and cook our second color. We'll be right back, guys. I'm going to pause it for a second, and this is probably why I like to do, like, it sounds so good when people can voice over their stuff, but sometimes I have little epiphanies. Degas it over there. It's something I always like to share. If you're a bait maker, a lot of times you get a blowout and it'll come right up over top of your fuel, over the top of your vacuum chamber pipe. I used to like try to like let a little out and then close it, little out, close it. But what I found out really works, when it gets right to the top of that cup, it's about to boil over, just shut your compressor off and you'll watch all those big bubbles start popping, and it'll start to break like right then and there, and then you can turn it on and it'll finish without foaming over. A lot of times you might have some other plastisol or some flake or some even pump oil in there, because that will come out the tube, and it can ruin some of your plastic depending on your color. But yeah, it's a good little tip. You just turn your vacuum pump off and let those bigger bubbles kind of pop, and you can watch it just and then turn it back on and let it finish out. It just did that, so I figured I'd say something about it while I was thinking about it. We'll be back, guys. Hey guys, we're back. We got the our base color sitting under the hot pad, the heating pad. It just keeps the heat in. It doesn't heat it, it keeps the heat in. I make these. We had them on site had on the website for a while, but took them down. Yeah, I've reminded myself this is a long form video. I get so used to the 15 to 60 second format of social media that I tend to talk high and fast because I'm just used to that media. So yeah, Try and be normal in this video. Anyway, we've got our base color keeping warm under here. I'll still give her a little goose before we shoot to get it up to the temperature I want. This is our secondary. As I said, this is Neo Orange with some 3-5 Silver Flake. Our belly is a nice little monkey milk. We're going to make that by using... I was just like to double check stuff. And I've redone this recipe like 4 times. Alright, yeah, 1/4 That sounds about right. So, I'm going to stand back up. Stand up and put my glasses down. Alright, 1/4. Not a... Yeah, we're going to use 1/4 of blue highlight. And you can adjust that to taste. I've got different ones. I found if you do 1/4 with 0.35 flake, we're going to use 0.15 flake. You end up with a lighter monkey milk. Obviously, if you want it to go the super blue route, you can just add more flake. I'm going to stop saying so much. The more flake you have, the more it is going to affect the deepness of the highlight because it's highlight. The black reflects light and makes it blue. I think. I don't know. I just pour it. I try to learn as much about it as I can. But yeah, we're going to stir this up. And it should get a nice shade of blue. But still be kind of transparent. Now you gotta be careful because it's gonna want to bunch up on the sides, and when you give it a good hard whip, it just throws all that pigment, all that powder up into the sky. Also, this will be a little thicker than the top because of the fact that this is mostly powder pigment, or it is powder pigment and flake, and the other one is liquid pigment. This will be a little thicker. So once again, if you're a bait maker, you want to have this 5 to 10 degrees hotter when you shoot, hotter than your top color. That's what we got. It's nice and transparent, but still got that blue hue. So we will degas this, reheat this a little bit, and be ready to shoot. We'll be right back, guys. I just got curious, so I tested my thermal mat to see what the temperature was. It's 90 degrees on the bottom of this mat. So I mean, I've got a bunch in the shop, so I put 3 on it. But it will keep your temperature higher, like even the top one's 86 degrees. It will keep your cups hotter longer, flat out. If you're doing open pours where you got multiple colors, or if you're doing a bunch of, even just while you're doing multiple runs, like I could put these covers on and then give my molds 10-15 minutes to cool down and still have plastisol that is in the high 200, low 300 degree range. So that you're shortening your reheat times, you're shortening the bursts of heat the microwave is doing to the plastisol, which is going to dull your color, curl your flake, and all this other fun shit. Super duper worth a very minimal investment, in my opinion. Like I said, we used to have these on the website. My wife hand sews them with a blanket stitch. These are as old as my company are, and I still use the same ones. I ripped one, my wife sewed it for me. I still use the same ones that I made when I first came up with the idea. So the longevity is absolutely there. All right, we've got this reheated. Always stir from the bottom. Your flake's going to settle before you actually shoot your bait. You still want to give her a swirl like that, but you want to make sure it's not getting a little solid on the bottom, because then when you when you put your injector in, you want to go all the way to the bottom to get flake, because the flake is going to settle as it cools, and if it started to solidify, it makes a bad shoot. I got a heat gun, that way if I cause any minute bubbles, I can just hit them with that real quick. Once again, cup covers on top. Molds are pretty warm. I've had my molds back here on the griddle the whole time, heating up. That way, you know, it's 54 in here, but it's like 30 degrees outside. So definitely preheating the molds and the blending block. That's super important. You want that blending block hot. Not so hot if you open it up and it's like blown out in the channels, you're too hot. But you want it real hot. All right, so that's coming out of the degas. It's gonna need a little reheat. We're gonna make sure everything's set up, get our molds clamped, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, I scooted you back a little bit so you can see how it's a crowded table. We got 2 3-inch crappie slayer molds and 2 1.2-inch crappie slayer molds. We're going to see if we can get her done or if I need to switch out to the 6-ounce. These are 2-ounce or 4-ounce N2 injectors with the N2 SDG blending block, which I love. This blending block is gnarly. Definitely, hold on. Alright, bottom's out. Nothing funner than shooting 65 baits the wrong way, right? That's when you get those specials on the website, which there are a few trays in there right now that I accidentally shot upside down. So we're gonna load up our injector. I'm gonna come right here behind you and purge my injector or my blending block. I purged the injectors when I filled them, pretty much just pushing plastisol to the end of the blending block so it's not pushing air down into the mold. These things hold a good amount of plastisol. Top off my runner so that when it pushes out air and drinks in a little plastisol, it's got it there to draw from. You always want to keep an eye on your sprue, or on the sprue. It's the runner head. Sprue is when there's an individual port for every cavity. When it's one run with baits off the sides, it's considered a runner. Starting to solidify on me, so this last one might turn out good, it might turn out bad. It is solid, so still gonna top it off, but I'm not sure how that one, whoops, a little overboard on it. Not sure how that one's gonna go. Top these off, oh, it drank it. Sometimes I feel like I need a little helper coming back behind me, filling in runners and sprues. Oh, got my griddle on. Always make sure your electronics are off. Put a couple cup covers over these. Keep it nice and warm, and we'll be back about 15 minutes when this all settles down a bit. We can check it out. See you then. Alright guys, what's going on? We're back. It's the next day. I dog shit at the end of the video at the end. The end of the video at the end. Yeah, okay guys. So I shot some more. I'm not shot some more for this, but I'm still making them, so I just went ahead and decided we would use this shoot for the end of the video instead of the one that I screwed up last night. It just didn't go right. So I did get a killer thumbnail, which I'm very stoked about. The thumbnail took me like, I don't even want to say out loud how long it took me to get it right. There's still a smudge on the plate, but let's check out what we were making, man. I hope you guys liked the video. Let me know if you're into this long form stuff. I do a lot of short form content on Instagram, and try to do longer form content on here. As always, there'll be pictures stitched at the end. There's that monkey milk. It kind of like looks drab like that. You know, it doesn't look like it pops, but so we got the Neo Orange Silver Flake top, monkey milk with 1.5. You see 1.5. I'm slow. I always thought monkey milk was the whole colorway and not just the bluish color. So I started seeing it with like 1.5 flake, 0.35, 0.40, all kinds of shit. And I was like, okay, apparently just the color is. I always thought like that whole shebang, the white or the blue highlight with the flake was monkey milk, and apparently it's just the blue highlight. So yeah, there's those. These all came out great. This is the 3-inch. They're already live on the website because we've gotten a couple of packs done already. So now we'll check out the 1.1s. Last night these didn't and that's not why I reshot the thing. I just thought the whole thing kind of sucked. Yeah, same with some of these, like from here up is bad. Just not full. I'm not holding enough pressure at the end, and it came out weird looking. It almost looks like a like a centipede or something. Yeah, I'm not holding enough pressure, so they're not coming out. The top like 2 to 6 baits are coming out short, and it's like it's obviously short. Like I can look at it. Actually, these two are short also. So I'm assuming that the other batch will be the same way, and the next time I shoot them, I will push a bit harder, and we'll see if we fill out or we blow out. If we blow out, I'll push a little softer, and if we fill out, I'll keep that same pressure. All the molds are different. Everything's about finding like what works. Yeah, what works. These appear to all be good. I have more trouble with small baits. Like bigger baits, you have troubles with like the sprues not being deep enough, or like different. I've got molds that I've got 3 different brands of injectors. My N2 are obviously the ones that I purposely use all the time, but I do have ones from when I first started out. And I've got molds that across 3 different injectors. None of them fit in the top. they're too small, and it's real hard to get a good seal, and you can mess up a tail or something, have some denting from that because you're not getting that good seal. It needs to really push that plastisol into everything. So like every mold's different and has its own kind of, not personality, but its own thing, and you got to really just learn each mold. Sometimes you got to buy sprue adapters, sometimes you got to adapt your shooting technique, all kinds of fun shit. But there it is, kids. Let's stitch in some photos right here.